My dad, he used to do like a lot of old stuff for like a whole bunch of West Coast rappers like
Oh,
Coolio,
wow.
Threat, Ice Cube, Snoop, and things like that. And because at first, when I first started producing, my dad and brother did like strictly hip hop, and I did hip hop at first. But then my brother showed me this one track, Benny Benassi Satisfaction. I was like, dang, EDC was so dope. A lot of people are like, oh, bro, is that your name? And then they'll be like, hey, bro, is your mom like a drug addict? Cause she named XAN. I'm like, what? No. Economics, actually.
Really?
I like economics. Yeah, because I think it's because I have a really cool teacher, and it's like I'm really interested in like how the economy works. This mindset in my head that just keep working, keep learning, try to learn as much as you can, and you'll get further.
Hi, today I'm here with XAN GRIFFIN.
Yo, so.
So you were born here, but then like...
So my parents, they grew up out here in LA pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was born in Gardena, but since they didn't really like the environment, some stuff happened. So then they're just like, you know, we want you to grow up in a safe and diverse environment. So we're gonna move to the middle of nowhere, which is Apple Valley, which is an hour and a half away from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I live now, and then once I graduate, then I'm gonna move back out here.
Yeah. What about this area didn't they like?
I mean, they grew up like mostly like in the Hawthorne / Englewood area. My mom grew up on Hoover. For those of you guys who do know, Hoover's a very bad street, because, you know, that's where like the Hoover Crips are and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, they just thought it would just be a better place for me and my sister and my brother to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, away in the valley.
How do you describe yourself like a few years ago?
I was like super shy. I still am like a really shy person. Like when it comes to like social interaction in high school, I guess I'm really shy, because I feel like so many people are so judgmental. But when it comes to like talking to people about music and stuff, like I'm really outgoing, and I don't come off as a shy person.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, back then I was just really shy in general, and then I started to open myself up, because then I started living by, you should get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because then once you get out of your comfort zone, that's when you do some of the most amazing things.
Yeah.
So.
And your brother and dad are like producing, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got me into it initially in the first place, because my dad, he used to do like a lot of old stuff for like a whole bunch of West Coast rappers like Coolio, Threat, Ice Cube, Snoop, and things like that. And then he started to get my brother into it, and then my brother.
So you worked in the studio with all of them?
No.
Or what was he working with them for?
It was mostly like co-production and just being in the studio in general, and just studio sessions and things like that. And that was way back when I was like a baby.
Wow.
So I remember like the studios he used to have. Like there was one that he had in Gardena. It was one he had on Sunset, I believe, and it was like another one. But that's like all I could really remember from that, because it was so long ago. My brother remembers a lot of it, because my brother's 25. I'm 17. So.
Yeah. But what was it like growing up with that? Because you like they put you to play piano when you were younger, right? But then you stopped playing. Yeah,
I mean, like, because we had a piano at my grandpa's house, and I would just go like just play around on it and stuff. And I don't know, I never really like was classically trained, I guess. And to this day, I don't like technically just know music theory. I just pretty much, I've been playing long enough to know like which keys sound good together, and just experiment until I find something that sounds good.
Yeah.
So, but I did take piano lessons for like a year in like 8th grade, and it was cool. It like opened up my mind a little bit, because I had a really cool piano teacher, and he actually was just telling me how I should I don't know if diversify is even the word, but like, you know, like make unique chords and diversify, and like try to add like little like arpeggiations when you can, and instead of just doing like just regular like major chords, like do like major to minor and whatever, like things like that.
That's cool. Yeah. Does your dad and brother still produce now? What do they do?
Yeah, my dad, he still produces, and then my brother does too. It's like just like a little hobby thing. Yeah. And I'm trying to do it as a full-time career, hopefully. That's
so what does your brother do full-time then?
My brother, he's a security guard at a college. And then my dad, he owns a daycare business with my mom.
Oh. Is that a recent thing?
No, they've been doing it since we moved up to Apple Valley.
Yeah.
So,
And then when you started making music, it was more like progressive house, right?
Yeah, I started off.
Get into that?
I started off doing like a lot of progressive house because at first, when I first started producing, my dad and brother did like strictly hip hop, and I did hip hop at first. But then my brother showed me this one track, Benny Benassi Satisfaction. I was like, dang, EDM is so dope. And then I was like, man, I'm gonna start doing this stuff. And then so I started doing that when I was about like 10. Yeah. And then I kept doing it. And then my friend, my brother's friend, he's not my friend too. Joey Pocino, he got me into like the progressive house scene, which was like more like Anjuna and Silk type stuff, and I listened to like Elon Bluestone and like Above and Beyond, Audion, like things like that. Yeah. And, like a whole bunch of enhanced stuff. So that's why I got really into prog house for the longest time. Yeah. And then I kind of stepped out of that genre because I guess, I don't know, it kind of got, I don't want to say like repetitive, but I wanted to try to do different things instead of just sticking to one genre and just kind of see what else I can do.
Yeah, so. But you started producing pretty young, right? Like when you're 8 or something? Or?
Yeah, I started like really producing when I was 9. Like I remember like I made beats and stuff like on my dad's like MPC 3000 with my brother and stuff, but I didn't really count that. But I started like actually like really trying when I was about 9. Yeah. And so, yep, about 8 years now.
Is that your actual name, XAN GRIFFIN? Or?
Yeah.
I bet you get asked that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, bro, is that your name? And then they'll be like, hey, bro, is your mom like a drug addict because she named XAN? I'm like, what? No. So.
And then what clicked to you that you saw, like, what's the next genre that you're like, okay, I'm doing the progressive house, and what were the influences that sparked your, like, to where you are now?
You said what, like, sparked me to do what I am doing now?
From like, progressive, yeah.
So I was doing progressive house, like, really heavy, and kind of transitioning up until a point I met Sound Remedy. He reached out to me. He was like, dude, your stuff's really dope. And I started talking to him. He introduced me to 2 of like my best friends now, which is Scrux and Saturn. And then once I started like talking with them a lot more, we would send like whips back and forth. And then when I heard their stuff, I was like, man, dude, this genre is so dope. You know, I should just kind of step out of progressive house. I want to do some more like unique stuff like this where I can really implement so many different elements. Because it's like with progressive house, you have to kind of stick to like this certain kind of structure and like certain sounds. It's like only so much you can do. I mean, technically you could do a lot with it, but I just feel like it was just really limiting. So then I started to do more like the future bass type of stuff, and then so that's pretty much what influenced me was other people. Yeah.
Are your friends still like, are they listening to EDM or
like the ones out of school and stuff?
Yeah. Or are they more like hip hop?
It's more so like hip hop and stuff. Cause like for example, not really. I mean, there's a few people at school who like keep up with my music and stuff that actually like my stuff. But I made this like new alias recently called Xan Langston, where I'll sing and stuff. And I did this one R&B track called "Show Me," and I showed it to one person, and then it like spread around school. Wow. And then everybody's like, "Dude, this song's so good! I didn't even know you made music." I was like, "Man, I've been here for 4 years. You guys didn't know that." But yeah, they like more like the R&B and hip hop stuff. I do too, but yeah, they're not really too into EDM.
Yeah. And you're into school, right? Like studying and... Yeah. What's your favorite subject?
Favorite subject? Oh, man. I'm gonna have to say economics, actually. Really? I like economics, yeah. Because I think it's because I have a really cool teacher. And it's like I'm really interested in like how the economy works in America. Like he was just telling us a bunch of stuff, like how recently, I think starting November 1st in California, gas is taxed like 16 cents per gallon right now. And then there's supposed to be like some big tax reduction starting next year, I think, which is like if you're making under $89,000 a year, then you pay like 15%, but if you make over that, you pay like 25. It's like something like that. But yeah, we're just learning a lot of that stuff, and he's a really cool teacher, and he just preparing us for life. And so
I'm really impressed with that because I was watching your like SoundCloud, the I think podcast on there. And then you're really into school, and I feel like a lot of people I've interviewed haven't been, so I'm like, okay, it's different. And you're into like CAD CAM, right?
Yeah, I do like a lot of, I've been in this thing called the Apple Valley Engineering Program ever since I was a freshman. I'm a senior in high school now. So we've been learning like how to use SolidWorks, and then different machines like a CNC, the CNC lathe, like band saws, and then I think I said we're using SolidWorks already. But yeah, so That's really cool.
I actually did that in high school too.
Really?
So I like know all the CAD cam and like
really?
you probably don't use it now, but I was using like CorelDRAW 3.
Oh yeah, we have that.
You
we have
do?
that. Yeah, we have it on the computer. We don't like really use
ago.
it that much though. We use
it's like
just
old school.
Yeah.
And then like Google SketchUp and everything, but I don't know if you guys use that.
Yeah, we haven't used that. Yeah, it's actually really cool though. Cause
I
when I
loved
first
it.
got in that class, I didn't expect them to have like all the machines that they have. Like it's like a lot. I was like, dang, you guys have a pretty big budget to have all this stuff here.
Yeah, it's just expensive. Do you think you're gonna like study like economics or like what do you want to study?
Like in college, I feel like I don't know. I've been kind of debating on like what I would want to study. I guess I'd say like maybe like a cinematography or film or something like that. Yeah. And then maybe like a minor in business, not really for the degree, but just for the knowledge. So.
So you're shooting a lot. So I mean, I guess I see from your YouTube videos. Has like cinematography always been something that you're interested in?
Yeah, I've always been interested in every aspect of like what goes into music. So like someone's like videos, like the graphic design, and like and even photography too. Like I like all the aspects, and I like doing it myself for the most part, because like what I've learned is like I can get someone else to do a lot of my stuff. Like I still do, like I'll have people help out occasionally, but it's like no one's gonna be able to execute your exact vision without you being involved in some kind of way. Like I feel like a good example of that is Porter Robinson. I feel like he's super involved with like every part of like the visual content that comes with his music. So if you want things to be done correctly, you have to be involved in some kind of way. So I try to learn as much as I can about whatever they're doing for me, so then I can direct them in what direction I want to go, if that makes sense. And if I like don't want to have someone else do it, then I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. What was the idea for your YouTube videos to be like a combination of the songs you put out, some like tutorials and like life updates?
I mean, it's been what I wanted to see from an artist, because like when I was smaller, I would like literally, I was obsessed with like interviews and stuff with artists. Like I would literally, every time I liked an artist, I was like, go to YouTube, let me see if they have an interview. I want to see like what they look like. I want to see like what they like and like what they used to produce, and like just little things. Like I was obsessed with Nicky Romero for a while, for like a whole year. I looked at all of his studio sessions, and I would like study them and all kinds of stuff. So when I saw stuff like that, then that's when I was like, you know, if I ever like have a fan base that actually wants that kind of stuff to happen, then I'm gonna make sure that does happen. So then once I started to see people kind of pour in and it's like interested in what I'm doing and like how I do things, I was like, you know, why not share that with people? So because I mean, I wanted to see it, so I just assumed that other people want to see it too.
Where do you think you got your like drive from to like understand, like you didn't really have anyone help you out, right? And you got into like Suicide Sheep and stuff like pretty early on.
I mean, I feel like I give like a lot of credit to like getting me started as far as like what I need to know. Like they're just telling me learn this program and like try to get to know these people. It was, like I said, my brother and my dad, they're the ones who like showed me a program called Reason, and then they didn't really know how to use it. They just said like, it was on the computer that my dad gave me. He was like, yeah, it's pretty similar to Logic and stuff, so just mess with these synths and stuff and make sounds. And I was like, okay, and I just pretty much figured out the rest myself. Looked at some tutorials on YouTube, and then what else? Oh yeah, as far as like getting to know people, first I had my brother's friend Joey. He's the one who, like I said, introduced me to EDM in the first place. So he showed me like all these channels and labels that he thought were really cool, and I started to really, you know, keep up on them. And I was like, man, one day I hope I can like work with these people. And eventually I was able to have mutual friends of mutual friends of mutual friends that knew someone from like Mr. Suicide Sheep or something like that. Like for example, I was able to meet one of the A&Rs from Mr. Suicide Sheep because of a friend of mine named Taj Ray, because I was on a collective of his called the Knox Collective. Yeah, and I had this one song named Utopia, and that was the first song that I was able to ever get on Sheepy. And then once I got that on, then I was able to get on their Taking You Higher mix, and then that's when we became really good friends. So I talk to him pretty much every day.
And how did the Knox Collective form?
At first, because I met Taj through a remix competition that I did for one of his tracks, actually, because I don't know, I think he still does produce, but I remember he used to like really produce heavy, and we met through that. I didn't even win the competition, but we still connected and stuff because he really liked my music, and then we actually ended up collaborating. He did a lot of graphic design. He started doing some graphic design stuff for me and giving me tips on like stuff I could do for my own graphic design. And then after a while, he just started to like connect with a lot of artists, and he'd always connect them to other people. He was like, "Hey, dude, I mean, I'm just gonna start this collective. If you want to join, like, I mean, it's just like a little family of like 5 producers, and we all just help each other out, like repost each other's songs, share each other's connections." And then once we started doing that, then that's pretty much all that.
Yeah, where do you think you got your maturity from? I mean, we're 17 or 18 now?
17.
17. And you're able to like have such focus and like know what you want and like just approach stuff so like mature.
I'd say I give a lot of credit to my mom, to be honest. Like she's always like so motivating, and she's always just telling me like on like certain things that I should be doing, certain things that I shouldn't be doing, how I should approach people, how I should talk to people. And I think it also comes from like me being shy too, because it's like when I first meet people, I want them to have a good first impression of me, and then once I start to get to know them a lot more, then that's when I start getting all goofy and stuff. But you know, like and then I also feel like how I want someone to approach me, so that's how I approach someone else. It's like I just think about how I want people to approach me when we first meet, because I mean a lot of times some people will be like super like douchey or like, I mean just like plain immature sometimes. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, well, I'll be like 16 at the time, this person will be like 26 and they're acting like this. I'm like, what the heck, bro? How can I be acting more composed and whatever, and then you're just acting like super wild and so I guess that's where it comes from too.
How do you think you've grown as a person since the beginning?
How I've grown as a person from the beginning, I think I just started, I don't know, I think I pretty much stayed the same, but I just had this like this mindset in my head that just keep working, keep learning, try to learn as much as you can, and you'll get further. So I mean, but I feel like I pretty much have the same mentality that I had when I was like 9 years old, which was like, as long as you just keep working and you keep working and you keep working, then things will, you know, like fall into place.
Yeah. And was EDC your first like major festival that you performed at?
Yeah, that was like the first major festival.
That must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was like a really cool experience, like especially to see like so many like big producers and stuff, because they have like a designated artist lounge for all the artists that play there. So it was really cool to be able to like meet people like Gray. And then, like, I met my homie Luke, who's in a group called Curo. I think it's pronounced Curo, but they're really popular on Monster Cat right now, and they're killing it right now. But I got to meet him for the first time. I've been talking to him for like 4 years.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then like we finally like linked up. It was super dope. But yeah, it was definitely like a super cool experience, because I thought my first time going to EDC would be me just going there to a party when I'm like 21. Yeah. And then like my manager at the time, he told me, "Yo, bro, I got you a spot at EDC." I was like, "What the heck, bro? Oh my God!" I was like so happy. So,
where do you see yourself in the coming years?
The hope is that I'm able to do music full time. It's not like I'm trying to like freaking win Grammys or something, because that's like such a, I don't know, unrealistic goal, I guess. But I mean, my goal is just to make like music that makes people happy, and on top of that, like make myself satisfied with the music I create. Because I remember like there was one time that I made something just for a label. It was a remix that I did, and it was like a lot of people liked it, but I didn't. So I didn't really like the feeling of doing that. So now I just try to make music that I love to make, and that makes me happy. So I just hope I keep that mindset, and I am able to do it full time eventually, because I don't want to be like working some job I don't want, and then don't have the time to work on music. So.
Yeah. Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
What I want to be remembered for being like a genuine guy. Like I don't want to be known as someone who's like two-faced, who's like one way on camera and then I'm like another way when you meet me. Like, I mean, for the most part, anybody that ever messages me like on Snapchat, Twitter, or anything, I usually reply like within like an hour or even sooner than that. Like especially on Snapchat, like, I'll reply like as soon as you send it, like sometimes like 20 seconds out, because like I'm super involved with everyone, because I realize that I wouldn't be where I am without the people who support me. So it's like I don't understand why some artists put themselves on like a pedestal that they don't have to reply to people, and then because I couldn't stand that when I was smaller either. Like I didn't feel like I was entitled to it, but I felt like some artists like considering their size and like them saying that they're busy all the time when in reality they're really not. It's like I don't know. It was kind of disappointing. So I don't want to disappoint people like that. I mean, there's times where, I mean, I'm not able to reply to people right away, or I won't reply, but eventually I try to get back to them.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Thank you so much. I'm super impressed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, bye guys.
Peace.